All right.
Let's start at the beginning of the story here.
Okay.
I'd say it was 2015.
Yeah, well, I'm not here 2015.
The year was 2015, and I go to a New Year's party, right? So it's the 2016 New Year's party at J-Mo's house.
All right.
And it's the way I like to start the story because I fell down the stairs that night and I hit my head on a lawnmower, and I still have a scar on my forehead from this. But
oh my god, you know, like dark brown in this fucking story.
And I woke up and it was a whole nother year.
I was frozen today.
Right? Well, it was 2016, and I just like to start the story with bumping my head. But I came up with the idea to write a cartoon, and I decided I wanted to get into animation,
like a Adult Swim stylized type situation.
And I've always been a big fan of sci-fi. Whether I was watching not a lot of mainstream, but I guess some would be like Doctor Who. Yeah. I watched Doctor Who and Rick and Morty at the time.
Yeah.
And but I really just enjoy a lot of sci-fi. Eventually, I went on to be able to watch Star Trek, and I've obviously watched Star Wars, tons of stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it is gonna have some comedy to it, but a lot of it, I really want it to be a lot of mind fuck.
So you're just trying to you're legit gonna try and
it's gonna be there's gonna be continuity.
Yeah,
it's gonna the whole story is gonna
you're gonna write this legit. It's not just gonna be silly fucking sci-fi shit. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean and I have a lot of inspiration to work off of, whether it be like Rod Serling's Twilight Zone, things like that. It will reference a lot of things, which you'll be like, oh my god, and it'll also be funny. But a lot of it will pander to these certain characters and a certain story that I'm making myself. And I had to do a lot of research, whether it's about
to make sure it wasn't
Well, I mean, I had to do research on who discovered the first T-Rex fossil, things like that. And so it's about this T-Rex fossil found by one scientist named Brown. The other guy's name, I think his first name or last name was Osborne. But they find this bone, and it's in a crate in a museum for years. And eventually, in the future, someone puts the bone into a chamber where they can bring it back to life.
Whoa, wait a minute. Do we want to give away the synopsis here? We probably shouldn't do that.
That part is the intro. Well, I mean, the intro...
Yeah, but I mean, still,
Okay, well...
Yeah, we don't want to, we'll embark, we're going to sign the embargo right now. It's sorry guys, can't talk much about the new project we're working on.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's about this T-Rex who he comes back to life as a T-Rex.
Yeah.
And he stumbles into a ship. The ship, he destroys everything. The ship ends up taking off with him in it. And a neural pack drops on his head, and he's able to understand, he's able to talk.
And the neural pack is something you've created for this.
Yes.
This narrative.
Yeah, it gives him a higher functioning intelligence.
Why the neural pack? Because the plot said so.
Right. The ship takes off, and it's in deep space, and the only other thing on this ship, besides other items, sci-fi greatness, is a robot. And that will be basically his companion throughout this whole series. Will be a robot named Khan, short for conscious, because he's an AI.
He's an AI. I was about to say he's AI.
Yeah, it's basically going to be these two discuss kind of like a Star Trek theme. They go and explore the universe, and the ship's original intention before he destroyed it and took off with it is to gather information and bring it back to Earth.
So it's basically going to be like his personal Star Trek. His adventures in space. Of course I've known about this for a while, and you came to me for ideas and how to proceed with doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm giving you a little advice on it. I'm behind it 100% because first of all, I love not Star Wars. Well, yeah, I love fucking Star Wars, but I love sci-fi because it's somewhat no holds barred. You can't do anything you want because you have to kind of piece it all together and make it work. But it really, like, so long as you have an end goal and you work your way backwards, anything's possible in sci-fi. And Rick and Morty is a great example for that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's another reason why I love some sci-fi B movies, is because they're just so fucking ridiculous. It's just such an awesome premise that it's okay that the acting is terrible and the effects are cheesy, because it's like, fuck, where else am I going to see this? You know?
Definitely. Another part of the story is
Santa Claus versus the Martians.
Yeah.
That's what I've got that movie in the other room, yeah. So
that's some crazy shit, yeah.
Yeah. That's some pretty serious shit. Like our podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Serious Shit, the podcast where we seriously don't talk about shit. I am Vincent Herman, otherwise known as Vin The Human. And joining me,
Travis Sermon, Dr. T. Neal.
Odle's not here today because he's out of town for some other serious shit. But he wishes he could be here, and he wanted me to tell everyone.
Exactly.
So that's from him.
But this show is also gonna introduce antagonists near the end of the first episode or so.
Okay.
Kind of like a.
I want to say this personally. Like, you're making me nervous because I feel like you're giving away too much.
No.
Someone's gonna swoop the fuck in. One of our 5 listeners just so happens to be someone who works at Adult Swim, and they're like, "That's perfect. I'm gonna steal it."
Well, like this is gonna branch off into a lot of other things.
Oh yeah, you've got like what you've said is like, no, because I've seen some of the drawings. I've seen the not so much script, but the rough like
I have
idea of where it's going.
I have a storyboard and
somewhat of an outline. Yeah.
Yeah. Near the end, it's going to introduce the other characters. We're going to get familiar with other ships. Yeah. There's going to be iconic ships without it, like. Yeah. Whoever the fan base may be, they would be able to know who the characters are, know the ships, know the areas.
I'll tell you this right now: a lot of the shit's gonna have to be parody. Like, you're not gonna be able to bring the Millennium Falcon in because, especially now that Disney has Star Wars, they're like so fucking. They're not gonna sign on.
They're not gonna be parodies even. They're completely original designs for the ships and names for them too.
I thought you meant like they're gonna encounter like your favorite fucking sci-fi movie.
No.
They're gonna encounter Osmosis Jones.
I will say this: like in the background, you may see a Stargate portal at some point, but it's not gonna have anything to do with the entire story at all. You're gonna see random shit in the background.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you did want to do like parody versions, it doesn't mean you have to be disrespectful or even really goofy with it. It's just like, we can't use Star Wars. Well, I'm still gonna use Star Wars. However
Galaxy
the fuck I can
battles.
figure it out. Galaxy battles. Yeah. I was looking at some of the analytics for the videos on the YouTube channel, and my last review, which was an old versus new review of the 1990s Ninja Turtles movie versus the I think it was the 2014 or 2015 Michael Bay remake. Yeah. It has 4 dislikes, but it has 6 thumbs up. Yeah. So I was like, hey, look at that. And what I mean by like, hey, look at that is like, people actually took the effort to fucking dislike it too.
Yeah.
I like to see that shit. Like, it means that I'm at least engaging people, and more people liked it than disliked it. So whatever.
That reminds me, it's
have one of my most viewed videos.
Right. Simple Interesting Visions does have a YouTube and a SoundCloud where I put out original music.
This is the whorecast, right? This is like that's what this has become. We're just gonna whore out our own projects.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is I should probably tune into those one day because I have not been on them since I've uploaded stuff. I have time lapse videos that I've done for our work.
Yeah.
And I also have music on SoundCloud that
I would love it if you did more of those because
I have tons of music.
You only have one of them, right?
Yeah, one video right now. I have another time lapse that I did though on that tablet.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's probably where the name of the show that I'm working on. Should I say that? The name of the show too?
No. Yeah, let's leave that out right now.
It will air though on my YouTube, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
yes, all right, okay. Well, anyways, like once you get like what you're working on right now done, like I'm sure this is like next up on the thing.
I've already came up with the Simple Interesting Visions Productions logo and screen. Like I already have a video clip that'll play at the beginning of the cartoon,
right.
and whatever I end up trying to come up with after that.
Yeah, of course I'm gonna jump in like behind the scenes and whatever you want me to. Like,
oh yeah,
I've already offered to do voices and shit.
That's another thing. A lot of the cast is going to be either a lot of me, which is already recorded. There's a whole audio track of me doing the voice of the main character, and the robot is all typed out on like a computer voice.
Like I don't know what you call it anymore. Like funny, you've got mail voice.
Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be voiced by friends and family, and I've already
okay, we disagree on like because you keep pushing friends and family, and I keep saying we should do auditions.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the only people we're really gonna know, I think.
Well, I mean. Those are the people we're gonna know, but we could set shit up at the local college. We could
we could do casting.
Yeah, we could put a blast on Facebook and shit, and be like, hey, if you want to get in on the spot. I mean, I did a pilot for TV for absolutely free. Right. They bought me dinner every night. It was pretty much it. Yeah. So and I got to eat in a pretty fucking fancy Japanese restaurant once.
I mean, if you come to the casting, I will walk with you by the flood wall.
Yeah, right.
We can play Pokemon Go together.
We'll have deep chats.
Yeah, shit. Do something.
So
we'll go out and do a sweet skate session.
Honestly, yeah, I really like because it's not that the people we know would be terrible. It's that like 90% of the people we know have like zero experience in this, which isn't necessarily a killer, but it means that a lot of them are probably going to end up sounding like shit.
Yeah.
So and then you get into that awkward thing where it's like, I hate how this is turning out, and they've already done all this dialogue for it, but we've got to recast them. Like, it sounds awful. Yeah.
I have a friend that we both know who goes by the nomenclature of Freebird.
Mm-hmm.
A guy we know,
right?
That goes by Freebird. I had him do a sound effect for a space creature.
Yeah.
That's screeching.
And I liked how that turned out.
Yeah, that was perfect.
We could just bring him in for any like weird noise.
Weird noises. Yeah, we have a weird noise guy.
Yeah. So there's gonna be me. There's gonna be you on it. I think we should do open casting call and shit.
Yeah.
And there's so many ways we can advertise that. We'll get a bunch of weird fucking.
And the only reason I had to record myself talking for the main character at the moment is just so I can fill it in at the moment. And it sounds so stupid listening to it.
Well, you'll have that though. Like I felt weird about it. Like I don't like my performance in that pilot that I did, but everyone else seemed to dig it. So or they're lying to me. One of them, probably lying to me. But yeah, so it's gonna be a pretty cool little thing that you're doing. I don't know what else. Are we planning on working on anything? Like really, my big side thing. Like I work full time.
Yeah. My
big side thing is sort of my brand. And it's easy now. It's gonna get more complicated later, especially if because I'm pursuing options in the female variety. There's one right now that I'm talking to.
There's a regal way of explaining
it. We don't know where that'll go. And so if I end up in a relationship, I'm still committed to this, like because I still want to do this. So that's gonna make things crazy. I can't wait to start doing Odle Obscurities again. Because I don't, even though I haven't been doing it for a while, I don't intend on losing any footing. Like, I want to hit the ground running right from where I fucking left off doing this shit. Like, production value and all that. And then I'm going to start hitting the YouTube circuit again for smaller YouTubers to keep linking up with.
Not even smaller. I mean, I'd say some of them that you even got to connect with you were pretty big.
Like LARP Girl is respectably big in the LARP community, but you're not going to find a lot of people talking about her. Right. Oren Bailey, however, is now doing shows
on his
and
third album.
No, I think he's on his second album. I think he's working on his second album.
Oren Bailey live.
Degrees of Freedom, though, is really good. That's his first album. It's out, and you should check that out. We're not sponsored by him or anything like that. I'm just a fan.
Just a random
Just fact. A fan.
He's good.
I like the fake friend, probably not. Like, that's probably too presumptuous. he likes some of my shit sometimes though, and I like his shit. And it's all started with YouTube, and he was on an episode of Edible Obscurities. And I wanted to keep doing that.
Yeah.
Because I think one of my last Edible Obscurities was with LARP Girl, and and then everything stopped. So
yeah, actually, I'd like to thank some of the cover albums that I've had to do people like musicians cover albums for their, whatever artwork they need. Yeah. Like I could go ahead and plug a Super Awesome Macho from Cleveland, Ohio.
Right.
And
yeah,
and just good experiences. Met a lot of good people throughout of it. And even what I've done with you and things that should not happen.
Well, okay, all right.
I've met a lot of great people in a lot of things.
I don't think we've ever actually. What are we at now? Okay, I don't think we've ever actually talked about the progression of the videos, like the
filming
shit
things.
That shit back in the day, where it all started. Because I would love to say, honestly, that I was that kid who always had a camera in his hand and was always watching like old movies and shit. Like had this huge VHS. I wasn't. Like I enjoyed movies. I enjoyed TV. It was all kind of basic, but we grew up. I grew up, anyways, in the Jackass generation. He was adjacent to that, and as a very, he's 5 years younger than me. You're 5 years younger than me. Yeah,
I'm 24 at the moment.
Yeah. So he was in that phase where it was whatever I was doing was the cool thing.
Yeah.
So me and my friends started making these YouTube videos, and it started on a weekend that I actually wasn't out there. Like, actually, no, I hadn't been out there in 3 months. It was weird.
Your friends had filmed something.
Yeah, I don't remember why to this day, but like, cause this was a buddy's house that we all congregated to. We all spent our summers there. We hung out there after school and shit. Like, it was really cool. That was the place where we wanted to be. So I had not been out there in 3 months for whatever reason. And I guess for a couple weeks before I started going back out there, they'd been filming shit because an older friend of ours who had actually already graduated high school, he was that friend. He worked at the library.
I keep getting older, they just stay the same age.
He had worked at the library, and he had rented out the equipment, the camera equipment from the library and shit. And they were just filming this like stupid Jackass stuff, and I was like, fuck, I'm all about this.
Right.
Because I think maybe the year prior, that's when I had asked for Jackass the movie on VHS for Christmas or something.
Oh yeah.
Really, I'm not sure about that. Like where that time.
In general, it was a hit.
But yeah, I mean, regardless, Jackass was still a thing well before the movie. I was watching it like late night I'd get up in the middle of the night and go watch Jackass on MTV. But
shitting in things.
little fucking shopping cutscene. Oh, that dude just fucking ingested a goldfish and spit it up, and now it's still alive.
Which you did something way crazier in a shopping cart than I've seen.
But anyway, so they were doing that stuff, and the guy with the camera, the guy who had bought the camera, he was kind of the leader of the whole thing. He was the one who kept instigating, like, we should do this, and like, oh shit. But he had a problem of talking all the time behind the camera. It was so fucking annoying when we'd go back and watch the videos and shit. And so eventually he stopped bringing the camera around, so Jimmy started bringing the camera around. And I jumped on it. Like, I was like, I have to be the one with the camera because I feel like I know what I'm doing here. I had no fucking clue what I was doing.
Ideas.
Yeah, I've got ideas. And we just kept doing all this shit. And that's when I feel like the skits started. Like, kind of how Jackass progressed. It was like, they had kind of skits.
Pranks.
Well, now, you had Jackass was really born out of CKY and Big Brother magazine, the Big Brother videos and shit that had happened. So Jackass was really one of the first ones that kind of took skits into consideration. And so we started doing more shit like that. And from this point, with Mikey, it was called Things That Should Not Happen. Oh. And when I kind of took over, it became STCWW, Subject to Change Without Warning. Yeah, I still love that name. STCWW is a mouthful, but it still rolls off the tongue, I feel. And Subject to Change Without Warning is a great title for something like this. And we kept doing that type of shit. Eventually I got people filming in school and fucking all this shit. Because this is all happening while we were in high school. And that started dragging you and your friends into it. Because, and that started with, you came to me and told me you and your friends had recorded some shit over the weekend. And you're like, I think it's awesome for STCWW. And eventually I found out about YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, eventually I found out about YouTube. And I started crafting shit together. And that's when the skits really started. Like, that's when I got real serious about the skits, which had no scripts before. The whole structure of production was I had a fucking idea. Or someone else had an idea. I'd stand behind the camera, and right before we'd start recording, I'd direct people on what they were supposed to do.
Film it as we go.
Yes, what they were supposed to say. And so we'd do it like that, and it took for fucking ever. Because I would come back in and be like, no, you were supposed to say this, and like, you're kind of coming out too far, like maybe you should keep it in closer. And shit, I was trying to get serious about it. And eventually I did start writing scripts, and it got a little more professional, all but the production value.
Yeah.
Because it eventually got down to me with this tiny little fucking, what was that? I think it was a Sony? No, it wasn't a Sony. But it was this tiny little digital camera that, that my now ex had bought for me so I could do videos a little better and shit. So we moved to digital. And
I forgot about that in general.
Yeah, and eventually it just stopped happening, man. I couldn't, things got crazy. I couldn't write scripts anymore. And then I started doing the new YouTube channel, Sorta My Brand and shit. And
that's where this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
And I keep flirting with another part of this being a part of maybe phase 4 or phase 5. Bringing...
what's resourceful and what honestly has stood the test of time that is actually good.
And re-editing is going to be a thing because I have all the base footage from all of it, and I'm way better at all that
as
shit.
As well as probably, we can make better videos now with the cameras on our phones that we have.
Well, I keep thinking, like, because I still have all these books of skit ideas and shit.
Yeah. I
keep thinking, like, oh, well, maybe eventually we'll start doing the videos. I just don't know where it fits in. I'm not saying no to it. I want to do it. It was fun. I had a great time. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
And I grew, and you can see that through the videos. You can see that through the progression of my YouTube channel. I guess now our YouTube channel. So I want to do it again, but it's got to be right. Like, we're talking scheduling shooting days. And these aren't things, this would be one of those things, we can't show up late. We can't do this because, like, it'll be hard enough to fit that shit into our lives as it is. For someone to show up 15 minutes, half an hour late, you just piss people off. And then all of a sudden, now you're recording, everyone's in a bad mood, and like we're trying to rush. You don't want that. So
maybe one day, keep an eye out for it.
Right. Until
we'll
then,
let you know if it does happen.
Until then, you guys can.
Ooh, hold on a minute, because this was recorded months ago, I actually kind of had to jump in here and change all of our social media stuff that I would have said in this episode to like our nerd news page, Sorta My Comics on Facebook, and follow Sorta My Podcast on Instagram. We are now Subject to Change Entertainment, not Sorta My Brand, on Facebook and Twitter, and of course YouTube and SoundCloud. Checking this out somewhere, like, comment, share. Hey, maybe you're a fan of all that old stuff we talked about in this episode, so let me know in the comments down below, and of course all of our personal social media is down in the description. So I'm going to hand it back over to past me and past Travis.
Alright, yeah, so you can like all that. You're listening to this somewhere, whether it's SoundCloud, iTunes, really doesn't fucking matter to me, so long as you're rating, commenting, reviewing, all that stuff. Comment, let us know what you think, talk to us, and maybe eventually we'll do an episode where we're talking back to you.
Tell us if you've had cartoon ideas or filming ideas or whatever.
Yeah,
anything in your wildest dreams.
What are some of your creative shit that you haven't gotten to yet? Tell us about it down in the comments below. Anyways, my name's Vincent Herman.
Travis Neil Herman.
This has been serious shit.